From the Cronkite studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
A University of Arizona basketball coach arrested by the FBI along with coaches from 3 other universities. They are accused of taking bribes in a wide-ranging corruption case.
Plus, the widow of Pat Tillman shares her thoughts after a tweet from President Trump brings Tillman's name into the NFL anthem protest debate.
And a look into the role women played during the Vietnam War at home and abroad.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Maya Petros.
And I'm Ryan Curry. Thank you for joining us. A University of Arizona assistant coach is one of 10 people arrested in a huge crackdown on corruption in college basketball. An executive from Adidas and assistant coaches at 3 other universities are accused of using bribes to influence athletes' choice of schools, sponsors, and agents. Reporter Andy Krause is tracking the latest in the media center.
University of Arizona assistant Emmanuel Richardson was set to enter his 9th season under Sean Miller in Tucson. He is considered to be one of the best recruiters in college basketball. His efforts have helped the Wildcats land a top 10 recruiting class in each of the last 7 seasons. But today, Richardson is accused of being charged with fraud and bribery by the United States District Attorney Office of Southern District of New York.
Coaches at some of the nation's top programs soliciting and accepting cash bribes. Managers and financial advisors circling blue-chip prospects like coyotes, and employees of one of the world's largest sportswear companies secretly funneling cash to the families of high school recruits.
It is alleged that coaches, including Richardson, accepted bribes from business managers and financial advisors in exchange for pushing the players and their families to hire these advisors once the players turned pro.
While pushing these professionals, the bribe coaches showed little regard for the players' well-being. They ignored red flags, seeing only the green of the cash bribes flowing their way.
The complaint alleges Emmanuel Richardson received a total of $20,000 in cash bribes over 2 different meetings. Richardson, according to the complaint, gave some of that money to a high school player as part of the recruiting process.
If you read the detailed allegations in the 3 complaints, totaling over 100 pages, you will find yourselves in the dark underbelly of college basketball.
In a statement released by the University of Arizona, it said it is fully cooperating with the FBI and the District Attorney's Office. It also said Richardson was suspended immediately and relieved of all his duties at the university. The NCAA only learned of the federal investigation this morning. NCAA President Mark Emmert released a statement that said, in part, "We have no tolerance whatsoever for this alleged behavior. Coaches hold a unique position of trust with student athletes and their families, and these bribery allegations, if true, suggest an extraordinary and despicable breach of that trust." Among the 10 people arrested, Adidas Director of Global Sports Marketing, Jim Gatto. He is alleged to have been involved with a conspiracy that bribed players to attend Adidas-sponsored universities and then sign with Adidas upon entering the NBA. In a statement, Adidas said they were unaware of any misconduct and are fully cooperating with investigators. Arizona State University is involved with a strategic partnership with Adidas, serving as the official athletic brand of Arizona State Athletics. ASU is not mentioned in the complaint. Live from the Media Center, Andy Krause, Cronkite News.
Senate Republicans will not vote this week on the latest last-ditch effort to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act. Senator Jeff Flake was part of a closed-door meeting on the Graham-Cassidy bill today, after which GOP leaders put off a vote on the bill. Senator John McCain was one of 3 Republican senators who publicly opposed the bill and sank its chance to pass. Democrats are unified in their opposition.
Arizona Congressman Trent Franks said he will reintroduce a bill that would ban most abortions after 20 weeks of pregnancy. Cronkite News reporter Fraser Allen Best was at the U.S. Capitol today for Franks' announcement.
For God's sakes, ladies and gentlemen, this cannot be who we truly are.
That's why Congressman Trent Franks says he will introduce again his pain-capable Unborn Child Protection Act. The bill would outlaw abortion after 20 weeks, when abortion opponents say a fetus is capable of feeling pain. It's at least the third time Franks has introduced the bill, but he said he will continue to push the measure as long as it takes.
I heard the story of a championship rain dance group, and they never failed to make it rain. And someone asked them how they did it. They said, well, we dance till it rains. And that's kind of what we're trying to do here.
Marjorie Dannenfelser is president of the Susan B. Anthony List, a pro-life nonprofit. She feels that this time, pointing to the pro-life rhetoric of the Trump campaign, the tone around the pro-life movement is different.
It's been huge, of course, that the President of the United States has made this central. I talked to him about it last night, actually.
Well, hopeful, Dannenfelser acknowledges that it's still a challenge to get the 60 votes needed to get it through the Senate, where it has failed repeatedly.
Will we get to 60 votes? I think it would take a little bit of a miracle, but I do know that that very pressure in those states will lead to the election of new senators who will build our vote total for the next time around.
Preparing to introduce the bill once more, Franks is hopeful that with each time around, he's closer to passing it.
This bill will be passed on the floor of the House, and will at some point be passed in the U.S. Senate. And this sunlight of freedom that you and I are standing will shine on the faces of the unborn in America again.
In Washington, Fraser Allen Best, Cronkite News.
A spokeswoman for Planned Parenthood of Arizona said courts and public opinion are on the side of pro-choice. She said Franks' latest bill is no different from any of his previous ones, and she predicted that it would meet the same fate.
President Trump's travel ban now includes Chad, North Korea, and Venezuela. It's the first time a Latin American country is part of the list. Relations between the U.S. and Venezuela have been strained, and the rhetoric has intensified since President Trump recently called out Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro during the UN General Assembly, with Maduro responding and calling Mr. Trump Hitler. Although this latest travel ban only affects government officials, there's concern that might change. Today, we got reaction within the Valley's Venezuelan community.
And that's the worry that everybody has right now. Like, this could be the starting point of broader measures, not only for government officials, but maybe for regular citizens. And even though the measure, the restriction or the travel ban is very clear, it leaves open, like, we can do additional vetting for people coming into the United States from Venezuela.
Venezuela has been immersed in a deep humanitarian, political, and financial crisis for several years.
After a weekend of protest across the NFL in response to criticisms from President Trump, the Arizona Cardinals chose to stand together with locked arms during the singing of the national anthem last night. The visiting Dallas Cowboys knelt together before the singing of the anthem to a chorus of boos, which Trump tweeted was the loudest he's ever heard. Trump also retweeted a picture of veteran and former Cardinal Pat Tillman that promoted his stance on the protests. Marie Tillman, the widow of Pat Tillman, who has been critical of Trump, was upset by the post and released a statement that read, "Pat's service, along with that of every man and woman's service, should be politicized in a way that divides us. We are too great of a country for that." Former teammates and friends of Tillman are speaking out as well.
So I believe that Pat today would likely be angered by the way his memory and his life are being used by some people, not everybody, but some, who want to weaponize him and use him as a means to attack someone else and call them unpatriotic and call them un-American. Pat would be furious.
Trump further tweeted, though, that the Cowboys later standing during the anthem was great progress for the country.
In the 1960s and early 70s, women were asked to volunteer in the Vietnam War. Cronkite News reporter Blakely McHugh tells us how women who served in the war had a slightly different experience than the average serviceman.
At the time of the Vietnam War, the military was almost exclusively made up of men. However, 265,000 women volunteered to serve around the world. 11,000 of those actually served within the country's borders.
Even though we were a select few, we really didn't look at it that way. There were about 1,000 women who served in non-medical capacity. There were approximately 10,000 women who served in the medical field.
The women who did serve in the war had fewer job options than men. Most of them served as nurses or administration workers.
There were very few jobs open to women. There were no combat roles open to women. In Vietnam, you were either the majority, about 85% of the women were nurses. The other 15% were admin workers, headquarters workers, things like that.
Those who worked in country faced a security challenge, having to rely on men for protection.
We weren't allowed to carry weapons, okay? If we were under attack, the doctors, who were primarily male, could carry a weapon.
But when women came home from the war, people didn't believe they had been in Vietnam. They thought women were safe outside of combat zones.
The rare occasion when the conversation might come up and I would say something, I'd have people look at me and say, oh yeah, right. There's no way you were in the country.
And although most people assumed women had not been in Vietnam, the men who were appreciated their work.
Emergency medevac, ASAP. There's more deaths in a war from medical issues. And we're in a jungle. There were wards full of malaria patients and, and different illnesses, jungle-type illnesses, and we were able to treat them and save these young men's lives for the most part. And they knew that, and they respected that, and they respected us.
8 military women died serving in Vietnam. Their names are inscribed on the Vietnam Memorial in Washington. In Phoenix, Blakely McHugh, Cronkite News.
New episodes of the Ken Burns documentary on the Vietnam War continue tonight and run through Thursday right here on Arizona PBS.
Today is voter registration day.
Coming up on Cronkite News, Arizona officials were in Tempe during ASU's voter registration day activities. What they're trying to do to get more people to the polls, next.
When a story comes in the morning, we're out the door as fast as we can go.
But it's also great to spend more time in communities and produce projects.
From the borderlands to the cities, the reservations, and even the state capitol, we want to get to the heart of the matter.
When the lights come on in the studio, we know our hard work is about to pay off.
We love what we do here at Cronkite News.
We're proud to tell the stories of our state.
Now more than ever, it's important to have a trusted news source, and that's Cronkite News.
Officially from 36, and he hooks it in! Arizona State wins! Keeping one deep, and it is caught! Jalen Strong! Do you believe
Arizona schools will be receiving a letter grade on their academic achievements this week. The Arizona State Board of Education finalized an A through F accountability system that will grade schools on a range of academic measures. The board was charged with creating the new system to comply with state and federal requirements. Along with helping schools improve, the system is expected to be used as a tool to help parents understand which school is best for their child and to let the state know where more support is needed.
Those getting teaching degrees from a state university can get their tuition cost waived as long as they stay in Arizona to teach. Governor Doug Ducey made that promise during his State of the State address, and today he officially announced the program to make it happen. The Arizona Teachers Academy will provide a tuition and fee waiver to all of its members in exchange for a year-to-year service contract to teach at Arizona public schools. Ducey hopes that this will encourage high-quality teachers to stay in Arizona classrooms.
Today is National Voter Registration Day. Here in the Valley, reporter Sydney Eisenberg shows us how lawmakers came out to push a specific group of voters into participating in elections.
You guys registered to vote? Arizona State University students were able to participate in National Voter Registration Day by registering to vote or updating their voter registration in between classes.
It was in the back of my head to do this since the beginning of the semester. But yes, today proved to be a very convenient and opportune time to do this and also to celebrate what today is meant to celebrate.
The Secretary of State's office, along with the City of Tempe and the Maricopa County Recorder's Office, were on hand to help with the paperwork.
Arizona Secretary of State Michelle Reagan says that while it's important for young people to fill out a voter registration form, that doesn't always mean that they will actually go and vote in the polls.
It is so important for people in that 18 to 25-year-old bracket. It's one of the worst performing age brackets when it comes to voter participation, and you're the ones that stand to lose the most.
Phoenix Mayor Greg Stanton took the opportunity today to post a video on Twitter, encouraging people to register and sharing his hope that the state would pass an automatic voter registration law. But Reagan doesn't believe that will get people to the polls.
That's just because you automatically register people. If they're not interested in voting, does it or does it not translate to more people showing up at the polls? And I think that's the important number that election officials all over the country are looking at. Does automatic voter registration do that, or do you end up wasting a lot of money sending information to people who never have any intention of voting?
In Tempe, Sydney Eisenberg, Cronkite News.
If you did not register to vote in person today, you can still go online and register.
A recent survey shows high customer satisfaction at Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport.
Coming up on Cronkite News, a look at what's new and what's coming to one of the country's favorite airports.
It has been cloudy and cool today, but our temperatures are climbing. Your weekend forecast is coming up.
Tickets are now available for the annual Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Journalism Luncheon, held Thursday, October 19 at the Sheraton Grand Phoenix. Join media industry and community leaders in honoring award-winning co-anchors and co-managing editors of the PBS NewsHour, Judy Woodruff and the late Gwen Ifill. To learn more or to purchase tickets, call 602-496-0482 or visit cronkite.asu.edu/luncheon.
Would you say your last visit to Sky Harbor International Airport was satisfying? According to a new survey, more travelers are saying yes. Cronkite News reporter Nkirka Marinier takes a look at what else is taking off at Sky Harbor.
Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport has spent millions of dollars improving, and the changes are paying off.
Last year's J.D. Power Associates study, we were ranked 14th, and this year we are tied for third place.
The satisfaction study surveyed almost 35,000 North American domestic travelers. Sky Harbor tied with McCarran International Airport in Nevada. Orlando was first, and Detroit second. Phoenix's emphasis on creating a happy customer experience is one of the reasons for the jump.
Customer service is one of our top priorities after safety and security.
New changes to the airport, such as interactive directories, new restaurants and retail, and the ability to check wait times for security lines played a big role as well.
Really helpful for more than 80% of our travelers who come through Terminal 4, our busiest, because they can go to any of the 4 security checkpoints. So if they know what the wait time is, they can go to another one if it's less time that they don't have to wait.
City officials approved the multi-million-dollar project because of the strong economic impact the airport has. According to the W.P. Carey School of Business, it puts $12 billion in the economy annually and supports almost 60,000 jobs. But the renovations didn't cost taxpayers a cent.
The airport's funded through passengers, and basically if you use the airport, you're going to help pay for the airport.
Some of the money spent on tickets, dining, and retail go toward the airport, and flyer Brittany Kupke says the higher costs are worth it, especially when it comes to the self-service ticket kiosk installed last year.
Actually, the kiosk is really good because then you don't have to stand in line, which can take a really long time, especially if you're in a hurry.
To make it easier for passengers to get from the terminals to the rental car center, the city is planning to extend the SkyTrain in the near future. In Phoenix, Nkirka Marinier, Cronkite News.
Phoenix City Council has already approved a $950 million plan to fund the SkyTrain extension and is expected to be completed in 2021.
Some changes are coming to Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport as well. This weekend, construction will begin on a project to expand and enhance the airport security checkpoint. The expansion will make it possible for up to 6 passenger security screening lanes and will enlarge the queuing area. The construction is scheduled to be done during night shifts with a completion date in February of 2018.
Fall is in the air, but we might not be done with triple-digit temperatures just yet.
Emily Bloom is tracking the forecast. Emily, what can we expect?
Yes, I think we have a few more warm days before we are in the clear for our fall season, but that is all right. It was beautiful today. We had a high of 90 today. We are currently sitting at 88 degrees, and we have been under cloudy skies all day as well. Now, our high of 90 today, we actually shared with Chicago, of all places, if you can believe that. That 90 for them today set their 7th day of record warmth. They are well above average, and we are well below average. We are typically at about 96 at this time of year. Across the state at the moment right now, we have got 88 down in Tucson, 84 in Lake Havasu, 63 in the Grand Canyon, and 70 in Show Low. Now, we've been sitting under this area of low pressure. That is what has been keeping us so cool. Over the next couple of days, though, this area of low pressure is going to start to pull some of this moisture into our state. By tomorrow at 4 p.m., the northeast corner of our state is going to be seeing quite a bit of precipitation. By Thursday, though, it will clear out. As we head into the rest of the week, our temperatures begin to climb. Some parts of the valley most certainly seeing that 100-degree mark this weekend, and then we stick with those seasonal averages through the beginning of next week. For Cronkite Weather, I'm Emily Bloom.
The 2017 wildfire season is already one of the most expensive on record, with a price tag of more than $2 billion so far. That word came today from the Forest Service at a meeting between U.S. Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue and a group of 5 Western senators, including Arizona Senator Jeff Flake. Perdue called for immediate and full funding of firefighting efforts within the Forest Service and for wildfires to be treated like other natural disasters. Both proposals are currently being considered in Congress.
You may have noticed a few more high pollution advisories in the valley this past summer. Cronkite News reporter Steven Sidner found out what the advisories mean for your health.
Joseph, Giulio likes to work out, hike, and run. Giulio isn't always able to do those activities.
A year ago, I was diagnosed with asthma. I had it as a kid. It was more sports-related asthma, but as I grew older and as I got here, living here for a few years, it gained a little bit more, and it's gotten a little bit worse.
Giulio says the air quality in Maricopa County is a factor with his asthma. According to the EPA, people with asthma, COPD, and other lung problems are more susceptible to the higher levels.
Certain days where I wake up and I'm like, all right, today's going to be a day I'm going to need my inhaler, or I'm going to take it a little bit lighter than usual because I can already feel myself being a little bit constricted.
The Arizona Department of Environmental Quality issued high pollution advisories for Maricopa County for 30 days since May 1st.
Here's why we're having so much is because the weather conditions. We've had a long, hot, dry summer.
The advisories are also a result of the new standard. Even though the standard was changed, the county still has to meet the old standard along with the new standard. If the county doesn't meet the old standard, there are consequences.
And that would mean more stringent rules for our residents. For our businesses.
On days where the county exceeds the standards, it affects people like Giulio.
Fortunately, there's been a few times where I've been on Mill Ave and I've been drinking, but I'll have an asthma attack and I'll have to run to my car and get my inhaler, and it kind of just ruins the mood.
You can sign up for alerts on the county's website to find out when there are high pollution advisories in your area. In Phoenix, Steven Sidner, Cronkite News.
On days where there are high pollution advisories, you can help by carpooling, fueling up after dark, and even going into restaurants instead of idling in the drive-thru.
Phoenix Fashion Week is almost here.
Coming up on Cronkite News, a look at some of the more eco-friendly designs that will be on display this year when we come back.
I'm Bill Moyers. I've been around a long time and I've seen it all. So I can say with a certain authority that public affairs reporting is more important now than ever. It's absolutely crucial for journalism education to continue our legacy of protecting American democracy. Objectivity, fairness, holding the powerful accountable, finding the truth as well as we can. These are the hallmarks of ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. communication. Students here are transforming the news industry and honoring the integrity of the school's namesake, the Cronkite School at ASU, preparing the next generation for a stronger future of journalism.
Fashion choices have a direct impact on the environment. That was the message at the City of Phoenix's Sustainability Fashion Show. Cronkite News reporter Tatum Hubble shows us how we can be more environmentally conscious about our clothes.
The City of Phoenix kicked off next month's Fashion Week by hosting a show on sustainable clothing, where models wore clothes made out of recycled materials put together by local designers.
It's important to focus on sustainable or green clothing because there's tremendous waste in our consumption. We have started to treat clothes like they're disposable. We don't keep them as long as we used to. They go into the landfills faster than ever.
The longer you keep your clothes, the better it is for the environment. The Phoenix City Council has set sustainability goals to promote green living in simple aspects of life, like making smart choices with the clothes you wear and the ways you care for them. Just like recycling trash, you can reduce your carbon footprint when it comes to clothing by donating unwanted items and even shopping secondhand. The City of Phoenix is trying to get to zero waste by 2050.
Our residential customers could fill our stadium 7 times, bottom to top, with the amount of what we just throw out every year.
Hartman said the show was a fun and educational way to introduce Fashion Week, which starts October 5th. In Phoenix, Tatum Hubble, Cronkite News.
Phoenix Fashion Week takes place at the Talking Stick Resort in Scottsdale.
Cronkite News is proud to be the news division of Arizona PBS. Here's what's coming up on Arizona Horizon and PBS NewsHour.
On the next Arizona Horizon, now that the economy appears to be doing better, what will happen to interest rates? And a conversation about the future with award-winning science fiction writer Kim Stanley Robinson.
I'm Judy Woodruff on the next NewsHour. Staying healthy at school. A look at a push to get more kids vaccinated. That's Tuesday on the PBS NewsHour.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories at any time, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.